In the prosperous village of Aquapum, where the red earth met the green hills, lived a young woman named Adjoa. She was known throughout the land for her beauty, her expensive clothes bought from the city, and her sharp tongue that cut deeper than any blade. Adjoa had recently returned from 3 years in the capital, where she had worked as a secretary for a wealthy businessman. Now back in the village, she walked with her nose in the air, treating the elders with contempt and mocking the traditional ways she once knew. These village people, she would say to anyone who would listen, they know nothing of the modern world. One sweltering afternoon, as the sun beat down mercilessly on the village square, Adjoa strutted through the marketplace in her high heels and designer sunglasses. The market women called out their greetings, but she ignored them all. At the center of the square sat Nana Yaa, the oldest woman in the village. Some said she was 90, others whispered she was over 100 years old. Her face was a map of wrinkles, each line telling a story of wisdom earned through decades of life. She sat on a low wooden stool, selling herbs and roots that could cure any ailment. As Adjoa passed, her expensive handbag swinging carelessly, it knocked over Nana Yaa's carefully arranged display of herbs. The precious roots scattered across the dusty ground. "My child," Nana Yaa said gently, her voice like rustling leaves, "please help me gather." "Get out of my way, you useless old woman," Adjoa screamed. "Why are you sitting in the middle of the path like a worthless piece of trash?" The marketplace fell silent. Children stopped playing. Women stopped bargaining. Even the goats seemed to pause mid-bleat. Nana Yaa slowly reached for her scattered herbs, her ancient joints creaking. "Patience, my daughter. In my day, we respected." Slap. The sound echoed across the square like thunder. Adjoa had struck Nana Yaa across the face with her open palm. "I am not your daughter," Adjoa spat. "And I don't need lessons from a dried-up old hag who never left this backward village." Nana Yaa touched her cheek, a single tear rolling down her weathered face. But she said nothing. She simply looked at Adjoa with eyes that seemed to see into the depths of her soul. The village chief, Nana Kwame, rushed forward. "Adjoa, what have you done? This is an abomination." But Adjoa just laughed, tossed her hair, and walked away, her heels clicking against the stones. That night, the entire village gathered at the chief's compound for an emergency meeting. The elders were grave expressions. This was not just disrespect, it was a violation of the sacred bond between young and old, a breaking of the covenant that held their society together. "She must be banished," one elder declared. "She must pay a heavy fine," said another. But Nana Yaa, sitting in her place of honor despite the red mark still visible on her wrinkled cheek, raised her hand for silence. "No punishment," she said quietly. "The girl is lost. She needs to find herself again." 3 days later, news came that sent shockwaves through Aquapum. Adjoa's wealthy boss in the capital had been arrested for fraud. His business was seized by the government. All his employees, including those who had sent money back to the village, lost everything. Adjoa's savings, every pasewa she had earned in 3 years, vanished overnight. But that wasn't all. Adjoa's younger brother, who was preparing to take his final university exams with her financial support, had to drop out. Her mother fell ill with a mysterious fever that none of the city doctors could cure. And Adjoa herself developed a terrible rash that spread across her beautiful face, making her unrecognizable. Desperate and broken, Adjoa dragged herself back to the village after 2 months. Her designer clothes were gone, so to buy food. Her pride was shattered like clay pots on stone. She went directly to Nana Yaa's compound and fell to her knees. "Nana," she sobbed, "I am cursed. Everything has fallen apart. Please, forgive me. I was foolish. I was proud. I forgot where I came from." Nana Yaa looked down at the weeping girl, then slowly descended from her stool. She placed her weathered hand on Adjoa's head. "My child," she said, "you were never cursed by me. You were cursed by your own arrogance. When you slapped me, you slapped all the ancestors who came before you. You slapped the values of respect and humility. You slapped your own heritage. Please, Nana, Adjoa wept, my face, my brother's education, my mother's sickness, is there. Nothing you can do. Nana Yaa was silent for a long moment. Then she spoke, come to my house tomorrow at dawn. But know this, I can give you medicine for your body, but only you can heal your spirit. The next morning, as the first rooster crowed, Adjoa arrived at Nana Yaa's compound. The old woman was already awake, grinding herbs with her ancient mortar and pestle. Sit, Nana Yaa commanded. For 3 weeks, Adjoa lived with Nana Yaa. She fetched water from the stream. She swept the compound. She ground herbs and learned their names and purposes. She listened to stories of the ancestors and the old ways. She learned that true wealth was not in designer bags but in wisdom, community, and respect. Slowly, the rash on her face began to fade. On the 21st day, Nana Yaa prepared a special medicine for Adjoa's mother, who recovered within days. And through her connections with the village elders, Nana Yaa arranged for Adjoa's brother to receive a scholarship from a wealthy village son who had never forgotten his roots. But the greatest healing happened inside Adjoa's heart. On the day she was to return to her own house, Adjoa knelt before Nana Yaa one final time. Nana, you saved me when you had every right to destroy me. Why? The old woman smiled, revealing gaps where teeth had once been. Because, my child, I saw in you what you could not see in yourself, a lost daughter who needed to find her way home. The village does not throw away its own. We correct, we teach, we heal. That is our way. Adjoa's eyes filled with tears. I have nothing to give you, Nana. I am poor now. You have already given me something precious, Nana Yaa replied. You have given me a granddaughter who now understands that respect is the foundation of a civilized people, and that pride without wisdom is like a house built on sand. From that day forward, Adjoa became a different person. She abandoned her dreams of returning to the city and instead opened a small shop in the village. She treated everyone with respect, especially the elders. She volunteered to teach the village children, passing on both modern education and traditional values. Years later, when Nana Yaa finally passed away at the age of 106, it was Adjoa who organized the funeral rites. As she stood before the entire village, eulogizing the woman she had once struck, she spoke through tears. Nana Yaa taught me that our traditions are not chains that hold us back, they are roots that keep us grounded while we reach for the sky. She showed me that you can embrace the new world without disrespecting the old. And most importantly, she taught me that true strength lies not in how high you can rise, but in how you treat those you meet along the way. The village elders nodded in approval. The young people leaned forward, absorbing every word. And somewhere, in the realm where ancestors dwell, Nana Yaa smiled. This story teaches us that disrespecting our elders and abandoning our values in pursuit of material success is a recipe for disaster. But it also shows us the beauty of forgiveness, the power of community, and the transformative nature of true humility. In a world that constantly tells us to climb higher, earn more, and outshine others, we must remember that our character, not our possessions, defines who we truly are. The slap that shocked the village became the catalyst for transformation. Sometimes, our worst moments can become our greatest teachers if we have the humility to learn from them. Please like, share, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more inspiring African tales.